You're getting the love you deserve. What do you need? Water? Get water. I'll pause. I have found in my personal experience of using the tracing tools in Illustrator that when you want to use this for a complex function, you may need to do multiple versions of your tracing and cobble them together to get the look you want. That being said, I'm going to begin the process and then I'll give you some more tips as we go through. So here's what I have unlocked. The other guy's hidden, and I picked these 3 custom colors, and I would like it if you would go to and find the image trace panel from the Windows menu in Illustrator. Window, image trace. And this is where we're going to begin our process. There used to be a really cool tool in here that they took out, which I have no idea why they would take it out, and it was a way to turn your artwork that you save here into each of the colors that it makes as a custom color, but it went away. They took that out. I don't get that. It's gone. If you look over here under Object, there's another one here called Image Trace, and there it says Make. You notice that? Don't choose it yet. Just notice it. All right? So your artwork needs to be selected. Use the black, please listen. Use the black arrow and click on it. Then you should see the panel. If you don't have the object clicked on, you won't see the panel. Now, here is my personal take on this. It is fun to look at this a couple different ways, but the outcome that I want to end up with is a custom piece of art, which this first example will not be. So the first example that I want to show you here is if I go to Mode and I go to Color, it says limited for the palette. Colors are 30. That's a high number. I'm going to bring this down to a virtually much less number, half as many, 15. And then these numbers, I need you to be watching now. For advanced, underneath paths, you may need to click this little arrow to reveal these settings. So for paths here, I want it to be sort of smooth. This may make it too smooth, but I'm going to put paths on low, and I want to put corners on less, and I want to put noise on 1. So for me, these are important settings because I want to show how this would look with only 15 colors and the most simple outcome that I can get. The idea behind this checkbox, snap curves to lines, sometimes makes weird shapes, but to be honest, I love you, Adobe, but this makes weird shapes anyway. So I usually click that checkbox off. And then to see what it looks like, click on the preview checkbox here. And then you have to wait. So I got that, which is actually pretty cool. Now, in light of the fact that this is really not finished until you decide to stop changing these settings, I can still change these settings. So if you don't like these settings, it's not right, you can click off the preview checkbox, give it a moment. It will still hang out with this little preview situation happening, but you could now make some changes, such as if I click the snap curves to lines on and I increase the path number so I can make this somewhere in the middle here. This is just a random guess how this might look differently if I click preview again. And now I have a lot more detail. It's tighter. It's not so random. It's still the same number of colors. So for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to give you guys some time to experiment with these. Click off preview. Perhaps you want to increase the number of colors and click preview again. I would say do not change too many attributes at the same time, because if you do that, you won't know what changed what. So that's better. I have 20 colors. I have better fidelity in the paths, but let's say I still want it to be a little smoother. Again, if I click off of snap curves to lines, it does shift the art a little bit. It's a little less perfect. If I want more colors, here I'll give it 22 colors. I know it's not that many more. But if you click on and click off of the preview button or just click on it, that's what does the fixing or the repaging of it. So I think that looks pretty sweet.
And Abigail, is it using the best 22 that it can find?
It's averaging. It's averaging the colors.
From what choices though? Like, how is it knowing?
Well, why don't you take an educated guess, and I'll tell you how close you are. Because I think you really know the answer.
So it's taking the real color that's in the photo, and it's using the swatches, and it's finding what blend of swatches makes as close to that color as it can?
Yeah, well, it's not making swatches, so let's just be linguistically clear. There are no swatches being made, sadly. But what it's
using the swatches.
It's not using any swatches.
No.
There's no swatches involved here, okay?
But we added swatches for a reason.
Not using the swatches yet. Okay, but now we're getting off track of your question. So it's not using swatches. Anyone want to venture a guess of what it is, how this works? No one wants to. Okay, so what it's doing is it's doing an average of the most used colors in each zone. So it's scanning across the image and it's counting how many colors, and then it's based on its count across or scanning across every line of the image. It's finding the 15 or 22 top used colors. The ones that are used the most are the ones that become the colors used, or the average of those colors. So without getting uber scientific, I'm sure you can find an article on that, more specific science of that, but that's generally what's happening here. If I give it less colors, here's 10 colors, that may be more what I want. It really depends on you, what you want. So I wanted this to have kind of a 70s Peter Max look. I really like that look. So finish your settings and then close the image trace panel. Make sure you use a low number of colors. Do not trace this so it looks like a photograph. I say very firmly, do not trace this so it looks like a photograph. Trace it so it looks like a treatment. So I say the top number of colors you're allowed to use is 15, and that's really a lot. So once you've got it, mine is at 10, then you can click away. And you'll be looking at your newly traced, low traced image. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next movie in a moment. So I'll go ahead and stop this one.